Looks like we've got another cat. He showed up a few days ago. And he already acts like he owns the place. I think he's Siamese, I'm not sure. Hey buddy. Well, you know, just like the rest of them, he ignores me too. Welcome back to the Sawmill, friends. It's Monday, but I probably shouldn't say that because I'm not sure when you will see this video. Probably Wednesday, if I can get things done here. I got a new editing software that I'm using. It's called Adobe Premiere Pro, and it's like starting all over again. But there's a lot of good features on there, I think, to make the channel better. So in the long run, I think it's going to be pretty good. It's just going to take some time to learn that process. We got a lot going on today. The first thing we're going to do is jump in the tractor and come down here to the garage. I got a new accessory to put on the tractor. You don't want to miss that. It's a really nice accessory, and it's something that I think every tractor needs. After we get that done, we're going to stack up some pine and also saw into some more pine as well on the LT70. And I'll also give you guys a little walk around on the sawmill and kind of introduce you guys to this Super 70. Because it is so much different than the 40, guys. It's a whole different world. So hang in there with me, guys. It's going to be a good day. Hopefully the rain will hold off. Looking a little cloudy up there.
So many emails throughout the years where people were like, "Hey Todd, I got a friend who is has high connections up in the government, and this is supposed to happen." And
The wind chimes are hanging up just a little. Real quick, the wind chimes on this sawmill, these are actually called drag back fingers. We call them wind chimes because of my good buddy Brian down in Texas. But this is not the wind chimes that went on the 40. Those wind chimes went with the sawmill when I sold it. These come standard on the 70. So let me introduce this sawmill to you guys. This is a LT70 super hydraulic sawmill, and it's also got the wide head. Now with the wide head, it gives you 34 inches of width as far as how wide you can cut a board. That's the same width that the LT40 had. Now you can get an LT70 with the standard head, and I think that's about 26 inches on the width. And if I'm wrong about that, I'll put something up here at the bottom. I think it's about 26, maybe 28. But the wide head is about an $800 upgrade, and it's worth every penny, guys. It gives you that extra capacity, and you need that. I don't care who you are, you need that extra capacity. It never fails. You'll get logged on your sawmill and you think you can handle it, but it's a little bit too big. When I had my LT35, I ran into that all the time. It was aggravating. Now the tensioning system on this sawmill is totally different than the 40. It's got a hand crank pump right here. And it also has an airbag right there. It looks like a little Goodyear tire. And it works really good. I like it better than the 40. On the 40, I had to turn that little handle to pump it up. On this one right here, you just kind of go back and forth. A little bit easier. And I find that it holds its pressure better than the 40. The 40 would leak down just a little. This one holds pretty good. Now friends, I didn't mention it earlier, but this is the largest portable sawmill that Wood-Mizer makes. They have some industrial sawmills bigger than this one. I think it's the WM series. They also have the LX250, and I think I'm getting that right. They've got so many different numbers on these mills, and that's a big sawmill. It's a slabber. It's not even hydraulic. And I don't think the industrial sawmills are hydraulic either. They're pretty much large slabbing machines from what I've seen. But as far as the hydraulic portable mills go, this is the biggest one right here. Now just like the LT40, this one has the Wood-Mizer system on it. And I've got this full of diesel right now. You can see the red dye diesel right there. And it works really good. The Wood-Mizer system is awesome. If you can afford that as an upgrade, I would do it. It works really good. Right here, friends, we got the board return. We have these 4, I guess you would call them fingers that come down. All 4 of them are independent. They can move on their own, so the boards can get trapped between them. You can also pin these up out of the way if you don't want to use them, but I don't know who'd want to do that. I love having the board return feature. It makes you more efficient. Right, guys, this is a fully hydraulic sawmill. What I mean by that is you've got a large tank right here with your hydraulic fluid in it. It goes through actually a cooler. I don't want to call it a cooler, it's probably called something else right here on the front of the radiator that cools the hydraulic fluid. And what makes this mill so much different from the other ones is the hydraulics on the sawmill, the chain turner, the clamp, all that stuff, they run off the motor and not off the battery. So on the LT40, I think the LT50s, the LT35s, if you want to run your hydraulics, you can run them just by turning your key on, but you also have to bring the head back to the end of the rail where the controls are, and you had to power up the battery by doing that, and that way you can move the hydraulics. So every time I made a cut, I had to bring the head all the way to the back to get the hydraulics powered to turn the log or unclamp it or whatever I was going to do with it. On this sawmill right here, just by pushing a button on the joysticks, I can switch to hydraulic mode, which is the bed mode rather, and I can power my hydraulics. So it doesn't matter where this machine is at on the rail. I could be right here or anywhere and run the hydraulics. But the only key is the engine must be running. All right, friends, let's talk about the power plant on this sawmill. And this is a 55 horsepower, 4-cylinder, I think it's a tier 3 Yanmar diesel. Now the LT40 that we just had, it had a 3-cylinder, 35 horsepower Yanmar diesel. That was a great engine. This one right here, guys, is a whole lot bigger. It's about 8 inches taller, I think. It's a lot wider, it's heavier, and it gives you 20 more horsepower. This is a beefy engine, guys. It looks like a monster sitting up there. These videos do not do it justice on the size of this engine. It's huge, I'm telling you. It looks like a jet engine sitting up there. Sawmill also runs bigger blades. It runs 1.5 inch blades. The LT40 ran 1.25 inches. I'm still running silver tip turbo 7s. The thickness is 0.55. I also got a box of 4 degrees as well to try on this machine. but the width is 1.5 inches, and I think you get a better cut with these 1.5 inch blades. I'll be going through these knots as fast as I can, and it seems like they stay just completely flat. And I have heard from other guys who run 70s, and they've told me that if you ever had problems sawing, problems hitting knots or having waves in your cut, if you ever run a 70 and you got a good sharp blade on there, those problems go away. And I believe them. I tell you guys, it's pretty impressive what this machine will do. Now, in addition to all that, one of my favorite things about this sawmill is the hydraulics and the speed of them. And they run at different speeds. If you're in idle and the blade's not running, they're running at a certain speed. When you do your chain turner or your log loader, if the blade is engaged and your RPMs are up, it goes even faster. It's almost so fast I can't handle it yet. I'm back there on those joysticks trying to control this thing, and I'm afraid I'm going to flip a log off of it. But it's really fast, guys. We're going to finish up this log and do a few 2x4s. Then I won't have anything on the mill, and I'll rev up the engine and show you guys the difference in speed on these hydraulics.